children, our topic for today is soil resources in India. But before starting this chapter, we must know the objectives of the chapter. What is soil? What is its importance for the living beings? How is the soil formed? What is the process of soil formation termed or referred to as? Composition of soil, its erosion and conservation. The most important thing that you will learn in this chapter is the 4 soil groups in India, their characteristics, color, texture, composition, fertility and suitability for crops and their major areas. So children, let's study the chapter Soil Resources in India, its formation, major components, the process by which it is formed, major organic and inorganic components. Now children, come to your geography textbook, page number 127. Soil Resources in India. Children, you already know about the climate of India, which is the major factor influencing the lifestyle of the people. Another major factor that depends upon the climate is the soil. But what is the soil now? Soil essentially is the loose material which forms the thin surface layer of the earth. It is a mixture of minerals or inorganic matter which results from denudation and disintegration of rocks. Now children, what do you mean by denudation and disintegration of rocks? Denudation and disintegration of rocks means the breaking up of rocks into small fragments. Thus, soil supports plants, animals as well as human life. Life depends upon the food we eat, and the soil is the source of that food for man and animals. Thus, agriculture production depends upon the fertility of soil. So, more will be the fertility of the soil, more will be the production of food crops. But before proceeding with the chapter, we must know the technical terms used in this chapter. Let's study the technical terms related to soil. The first term covered in this chapter is pedogenesis. Pedogenesis is the process of soil formation. Another important term used in this chapter is silica. Silica is the main constituent of soil which is present in the form of small crystalline grains. The third and the major important term used in this chapter is humus. Humus is the most important organic component formed by the decomposition of plant remains, animal waste and dead animals. So children, higher is the content of humus in the soil, higher will be its fertility. And lower is the content of humus in the soil, lower will be its fertility. Another important term is soil erosion. Soil erosion is the removal of topsoil by the different agents of weathering like running water and wind. So children, whenever the strong wind blows, it carries away a top layer of soil with it, which is termed as soil erosion. Now another term to prevent the soil erosion in this chapter is soil conservation. Soil conservation is the effort made by the man to prevent soil erosion and to retain the fertility of soil. Students, it takes hundreds of years to form a thin layer of soil. Its formation is related to the parent rock material, relief, climate and vegetation. Animals, insects and man also play an important role in the formation of soil. Now let's study these factors in detail. Formation of soil is related to certain important factors like parent rock material. Children, what is this parent rock? Parent rock refers to the original rock. It is the first factor that determines the formation of soil. Weathering, that is softening and breaking down of parent rocks, leads to the formation of various kinds of soil like A. Weathering of the igneous rocks leads to the formation of the black soil. Like in this figure, you can see a piece of igneous rock. It disintegrates into fragments and finally it disintegrates into black soil. Similarly, weathering of the sedimentary rocks leads to the formation of the alluvial soil. Weathering of the metamorphic rocks leads to the formation of the red soil. Weathering of the laterite rocks leads to the formation of the laterite soil. So, this is how the weathering of different rocks leads to the formation of different kinds of soil. The second factor which is responsible for the formation of soil is relief. Relief or landform is another major factor determining the formation of soil, as plains and deltas have alluvial soil, deserts have sandy soil. So in this way, type of relief determines the formation of different soils. The third major factor that affects the formation of soil is climate. Formation of soil generally influences the formation of soil. Every day, due to the heat of the sun, the temperature rises and the rocks expand, and over the night they contract. So due to the regular expansion and contraction, rocks break into small fragments or sediments, resulting in the formation of different soils. Thus, the areas with very high temperature and little or no rainfall have sandy soil. On the other hand, the areas with very high temperature and heavy rainfall have laterite soil. The important factor is vegetation. Vegetation refers to the trees and plants in an area. The area with dense vegetation have alluvial soil, which is highly fertile, and the areas with thorny bushes and scrubs have sandy soil. Animals excrete when they die. So they too decompose and become one with the soil. Insects like ants, earthworms, termites burrows and affect the formation of soil. In this way, animals, insects plays an important role in the formation of soil. So children, all the above factors we have discussed affects the formation of soil. Yes, composition of soil. Soil is a mixture of inorganic materials, minerals and organic materials like humus. Inorganic components. The soil is composed of three main substances. Number one, silica. Silica is the main constituent of sand. It is derived from the disintegration of rocks, which means the breaking up of rocks. It is present in the soil in the form of small crystalline grains. Now, the second important inorganic component present in the soil is clay. Clay is a mixture of silicates and many other minerals such as iron, number 2 calcium, number 3 sodium, number 4 potassium, number 5 aluminium. They may be termed as lim-cap. In this, L stands for limestone, I stands for iron, M stands for magnesium, C stands for calcium, A stands for aluminium and P stands for potassium. Clay soil retains moisture, that is, it can hold the maximum amount of moisture due to the presence of these minerals. Rock is another important inorganic material present in the soil. Children, like for the growth of your teeth and bones, you need calcium. Similarly, for the growth of the plants, chalk provides calcium. Now, let us proceed to organic components. What are organic components? Organic components are the components that determines the fertility of the soil. Now, what do you mean by this word fertility? Fertility refers to the capacity of the soil to hold the plants. They are derived from the decay of vegetable matter. What is this decay? Decay means when the animals die, they decompose into the soil. The ultimate form of organic matter is humus, which is very important term in this chapter. As discussed earlier, humus is an organic matter because it is formed by the decomposition of plant remains, animal waste and dead animals. It helps the soil to retain moisture. It imparts fertility to the soil. It helps the plant to draw the nutrients from the soil essential for its growth. Then it also imparts dark color to the soil. Other than this, soil also contains moisture and air which varies from soil to soil. So children, in this way, soil mainly consists of organic and inorganic components. Next, we shall study soil erosion and its causes. Now, what is the soil erosion? As we have discussed earlier, soil erosion is the removal of the topsoil by the different agents of weathering such as running water, wind, overgrazing, men, plants and animals, faulty methods of agriculture. The first factor in determining the soil erosion is running water. The prime means main factor of soil erosion is running water. Indirectly, soil erosions help a soil forming because from wherever the soil is removed, it is deposited elsewhere. That is, when running water carries the sand from one place to another place and deposited it to another place. However, it disturbs the agriculture pattern and should be prevented. There are several ways in which soil erosion takes place. Due to running water, splash erosion, where the soil is pulverized, that is completely pulled out by the impact of heavy drops, that is heavy rainfall, and hailstone, as in the case of convectional rainfall, which is very common in the equatorial regions. Erosion. Children, like in this diagram, you can see due to the impact of the heavy raindrops, the topsoil is eroded and subsoil is exposed to the wind. The second type of erosion is sheet erosion. In this stage of water erosion, when the heavy rainfall occurs, the rainwater churns or rechins the topsoil and along with the runoff, the muddy water moves along away from the field. Like in this diagram, you can see there is a layer of topsoil. Due to the impact of the heavy rainfalls, the topsoil is eroded and the larger particles have been exposed to the wind, like containing gravels, sand, as the topsoil is eroded. Now, real erosion is the erosion whereby on steep slopes, in the absence of any vegetation, water flows down with force downhill, developing into channel flow. That is, the rainwater while flowing downhill cut the gullies, cutting steep-sided valley as it runs off, that is, flows down. Gullies cut up the agricultural land into bad land where no cultivation is possible. That is why it is considered as the worst type of erosion. The example of gully erosion is Chambal ravines in India. Now, the next type of erosion is caused by the wind. Soil erosion by the wind occurs on extensive flat lands, that is, huge plains, which are subject to a windy dry season for a part of the year. The upper soil surface becomes loose, that is, the topsoil becomes loose and is susceptible. Susceptible means that it is subjected to wind erosion due to lack of moisture. Wind erosion is mainly common in deserts due to the lack of vegetation. Like in this diagram, you can see there is a sand dune. Due to the blowing of the wind carries away and deposited the sand to the another place. The another important agent of soil erosion is overgrazing. Due to the overgrazing of the cattle, the soil becomes devoid, that is, lack of vegetation, and hence it is exposed to the wind easily. Men, plants and animals are equally responsible for the erosion. Man's activities like construction work, that is, constructing the buildings, plowing, cutting down trees, that is, deforestation, causes soil erosion. Overgrazing by the animals and uprooting of plants, uprooting means that plucking it from the roots, also results in dismantling the soil. Dismantling means disturbing the balance of the soil. Now the next main agent is faulty methods of agriculture. Under the faulty methods of agriculture, we shall study shifting agriculture, which is practiced in Northeast India, lack of crop rotation and wrong plowing. Faulty methods of agriculture. In the shifting agriculture, farmer clears a patch of land, burns it and cultivates it for 2 to 3 years till the soil loses its fertility. And after that, he shifts to a fresh patch of land. Continues the same process. This is called as shifting agriculture. It becomes an important agent of soil erosion, as on cutting the forest, the soil loosens and is exposed easily to the wind, leading to the wind erosion. Another factor is lack of crop rotation. In India, mostly the farmers are growing same crops in their fields, which results in the reduction of fertility of soil, leading to soil erosion. Thus, children, through this video, you have learned what is soil erosion and what are the various agents of soil erosion. Thank you.